Watch my corner. So he goes to the watch my corner. Right there. I don't want nobody messing with me.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings.
I'm Chaplain Dr. Victoria A. Phillips from the Jails Action Coalition. Everyone calls me Dr. V. And today I'm out here with my co-MC. My name is Akiana Smith. I'm a community engagement liaison at the New York County Defender Services, and I'm also a social justice crusader. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
7 lives have been taken in 2023. 7 lives have been taken in 2023. Broadway should be shut down right now. Every council member should be out here on the corner with us right now. Why? Because justice has not been served.
That's right.
Why? Because human rights continue to be denied for every life detained in New York City Department of Corrections custody. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want feel?
Thank you, Dr. B. First of all, thank you to everyone out here this morning. Thank you for any New Yorkers that are over here that are just being concerned. Just thank you for everyone for being out here. And thank you for the same faces that are here all the time. It's kind of a travesty that has to happen. And I want to echo Dr. B's sentiment that we should actually, it should be a mass gathering of New Yorkers right over here, because one of the things that we're doing right now, it seems that we are not appreciating what's going on Rikers Island right now. It's actually a humanitarian crisis, and people are being injured and killed because of neglect of New York City. And what we have to do right now is really come to the idea that we can do more. It's more so that we don't care, we don't value the lives of New Yorkers that are there right now. So I also want to thank, and it's so heartbreaking to have to say it, but I just want to thank the families that continue to be out here on the front lines, representing their family members that have been injured, family members that have been killed, family members that have been paralyzed on Rikers Island, and continuing to stand up and fight and have to shout for justice days, sometimes weeks, years later after their family members have left Rikers Island because of the custody, care, and control that the New York City has provided for them. And I know that the public advocate has been super forthright about the idea that Rikers Island is not something that can be managed by the city anymore. And we all know that we're in a place where, listen, if we were capable of doing this, then people would be dying. Dying at the rate they're dying. Mr. Davis just died, and we continue to say that we have a handle on this issue. We do not have a handle on this issue. We need to make some conditions so that folks can survive, and also when folks come home, that they actually have resources that they need to recover from the experience of being on Rikers Island. We also need to make sure that Rikers Island is shut down so that folks don't have to undergo those hardships anymore and again. And I also just really want to thank everyone who's always continuously out here fighting and making sure that we, as New York City, show folks that we don't care about whatever rhetoric is given to us about the fact that everything's fine on Rikers Island. We actually know that things are not fine. And I know the public advocate, we have a series of bills that are here about whether or not we're ending solitary confinement, about reporting on how housing is shifted on Rikers Island. But honestly, a lot of that is semantics. It doesn't matter often. We really have to raise up the fact that people are dying and getting injured every single day, and that's due to neglect. That's due to people not doing their jobs. That's due to New Yorkers not looking and stopping and listening and caring enough. Because if we were holding power accountable, then these things would not be happening. So again, I want to just thank everyone and just echo the sentiments of Dr. B and our lovely co-host right over here, Ms. Smith, that Rikers needs to be shut down, and we just need to do more as New Yorkers to make sure that we hold truth to power. Thank you, Dr. B.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you.
Well said.
I want to thank you for representing the public advocate at this time. But I also want to just take a moment while media is here. Feel free to use this soundbite. Eric Adams and all electeds underneath him. Where are you? Where the hell are you right now? Because I know you're not on Rikers. So where are you? Because the people of New York are crying out once again because we have lost yet another life in your custody. And Eric Adams, you are responsible for every detainee in DOC's custody because you are Commissioner Molina's boss. So where are you? Where's your response? Because your response the other day when asked about Curtis' death and mixing it up with NYCHA is unacceptable. It's unacceptable for a leader in your position and your place and with your ego. Step up and get stuff done. Because it's unacceptable to allow the fester that is happening in Rikers Island to occur. It's unacceptable to allow the people who are having mental health concerns, and we know that they make up more than half the population, to still be continuing to send there. And judges, I'm talking to you. It is unacceptable for in 2023 you to feel as if Rikers is safer than community treatment. It is unacceptable for you to say, I am remanding you out of fear of what I don't know, rather than to educate yourself for the resources in our community. And elected officials, whether statewide or local, we are all your constituents. Everybody at 250 Broadway has a district in New York City. So everybody across the street should be out here right now with us. No one is excused from not showing up. And next I want to bring up Akiana. Come on.
Turn it down.
Turn it told you this would happen. And until we shut it down, it will keep happening. The chair can't just be there for a check. Lives are at stake. You choose power over lives, shame on you.
Shame on you!
I just want to say to families of Curtis Davis and the rest of our fallen brothers, my heart breaks for you. I wish that we could have done more. But your death was not in vain, and we will not let this be another nameless death at Rikers Island. Shut it down! Shut it down!
Now we would like to bring up Nathaniel Evans from Freedom Agenda.
Woo! Woo!
That's right. Close Rikers.
Close Rikers!
When do we want it?
Now!
There's great reasons why. Right now, we're talking about 7 deaths in 2023 that are supposed to be here with us right now in the world. They're supposed to be alive. We got that to thank Mayor Adams and Rikers Island. This is a great partnership that they have to destroy the lives of New Yorkers. I've actually been in Rikers Island from the age of 16 to the age of 18, and it was terror. I've been in a box. I know what it feels like to be jumped by 20 men and they get penalized for you being jumped by 20 men and placed into the box. I know what these systems are. These systems are not for us, they're not for life. They're taking our lives away every day, all day. And we have the right to be alive. We have the right for our lives. We have the right to make mistakes and come out of those mistakes with our lives intact, with our mental health intact, with our emotional beings and our spiritual intelligence intact and our emotional intelligence intact. We have the right for these things. No man in this earth is free of mistakes. Show me one of them. No man in this earth is free of mistakes. We all make mistakes and no woman is free of mistakes. We all go through our changes and we all develop. I did 11 and a half years in upstate prison and you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. But the Most High preserves us. The Most High increased us. And we will win this fight. We will close Rikers. This is not a myth. These men or these women that died at Rikers Island, sorry, it's not a myth. These are human lives. We don't want to play your games anymore. We don't want to play with your systems anymore. You need to dismantle all of them. Any system of harm against us and life needs to be dismantled immediately, especially Rikers Island and any other counterparts that's associated to it. What do we want?
Shut it down!
What do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want it?
Now!
Close Rikers!
Close Rikers!
Blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I know how y'all move. So before any media walks away, I want y'all to hear the names today. Darren Mack from Freedom Agenda is going to help lead us in some names.
That's right.
So, when I say this person's name who lost their life, then you just repeat after me. 26 people lost their lives since this man took office. One of the bloodiest years since Rikers Island been open. Charles Youngblood.
Charles Youngblood!
George Pagan.
George Pagan!
Herman Diaz.
Herman Diaz!
Deshaun Carter.
Deshaun Carter!
Mary Yahuda.
Mary Yahuda!
Emmanuel Sullivan.
Emmanuel Sullivan!
Antonio Bradley.
Antonio Bradley!
Annabelle Carrasquillo.
Annabelle Carrasquillo!
Albert Dry.
Albert Dry!
Elijah Muhammad.
Elijah Muhammad!
Michael Lopez.
Michael Lopez!
Ricardo Cruciano.
Ricardo Cruciano!
Michael Nieves.
Michael Nieves!
Kevin Bryant.
Kevin Bryant!
Gregory Acevedo.
Gregory Acevedo!
Robert Pondexter.
Robert Pondexter!
Eric Tavira.
Eric Tavira!
Gilberto Garcia.
Gilberto Garcia!
Edgardo Miejes.
Edgardo Mieres!
Marvin Pine.
Marvin Pine!
Ruby Zhao.
Ruby Zhao!
Joshua Velez.
Joshua Velez!
Felix Taveras.
Felix Taveras!
Ricky Howell.
Ricky Howell!
William Johnstone.
William Johnstone!
And Curtis Davis.
And Curtis Davis!
Now we say their names because many times elected officials fail to. We say their names because DOC sometimes doesn't even value the family members to give them a response. Earlier this year, we actually had attorneys for Joshua stand before you on this corner outside of City Hall and tell the city that DOC did not even have the courtesy, compassion, or empathy to let his family know he was now deceased. And yet, last week at the BOC meeting, Commissioner Molina on the record stated DOC tells every family when someone dies. That's a lie. He's a liar. How many more lies do we have to hear from Commissioner Molina and Mayor Adams as people die? We held up signs that Sarita helped make for us. What they said, Molina lies, people die. DOC lies, people die. Enough is enough. We all have jobs and lives to live and do as productive citizens of New York. We don't want to be out here screaming. We don't want to have to galvanize in emergency situations, but we do it because we care. Many times we have never even met the people that we advocate for, but we do it because we are New Yorkers. We do it because this is domestic soil. We do it because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? I don't see an elected official. I don't see Mayor Adams. I don't see Commissioner Molina. So if we don't do it, who's going to do it? If we don't show up to tell the media about it, who's going to inform you on the stories that you produce? Because for years, we were your eyes and ears behind the wall. Let's talk about it. And for years, we had to beg you to come and hear the people's plight because it wasn't good enough. The story wasn't juicy enough. Well, my God, 7 people in 2023, is that juicy enough for you? Is that going to make the 5 o'clock, the 7 o'clock, the 10 o'clock news? How many more must die before it's highlighted as a dire need, as a public health safety concern? This is a public health crisis. How many people died this year that had mental health concerns? Do you know? How many people died this year that was in specialized units in Rikers? Do you know? Because each specialized unit is supposed to have more staff, more access to medical, more officers responding. So how many have died this year? I'm not going to ask you about last year or the year before because there's many. But this year, do your homework. Do you know? And if not, why not? These are your community members. Someone has died this year from every aspect of our city. I couldn't even go on a business trip last year in August without hearing another death. It's getting to the point that every weekend we fear who will be next. My God, the numbers, the data is there. We are incarcerating our most vulnerable in our community. And if someone is in a mental health crisis, jail is not going to fix their issue. Jail in the summertime without AC, access to water, and bare necessities is going to heighten one's crisis rather than de-escalate it. Where's Edwin? Come on. Edwin from Freedom Agenda. Please welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I want to do something real quick. If you are a human being, please raise your hand. If you are a human being, please raise your hand. Look around. Now put it in a fist. Look to the person next to you. Now put it down. My name is Edwin Santana. I'm a community organizer for Freedom Agenda. And I am a survivor of Rikers Island. And yes, I am a human being. Today we mourn another life that was lost and died while in the custody of the DOC. And I'm here to tell you that I believe that Mayor Adams does not care at all. I'm going to say that one more time for all of y'all. For all y'all media that's here today. Mayor Adams does not care. He does not care about the human beings on Torture Island. He doesn't care about the families of those who lost their lives and their loved ones to the Torture Island. And he certainly doesn't give a damn about none of us right here.
Talk about it.
He does not care about any one of us right here. Let's be clear. These names are not names. These names are individuals. They are human beings. So, why do I believe that he doesn't care? It's simple. If he cared, he would fight to speed up the implementation of the borough-based plan. Let me say that again. If he cared, he would implement it. He would implement the borough-based plan that we so hard and long fought for. We did that. Advocates. Individuals who cared. We did that because we cared. Also, if he cared, he would shut down Rikers Island, he would sink the boat, and he would truly care to decarcerate New York City. Yes. Mayor Adams does not care. Let's make that clear. Instead of doing his job, he wants to party with celebrities. He wants to tell people we don't know what we're talking about. And he also wants to pull the race card where he doesn't feel like answering a simple question. So Mayor Adams, I tell you right now, you sold out the people who voted for you.
Yes.
You sold out your faith.
Yes.
You sold out every single New Yorker that's here today. Action speaks louder than words.
Yes.
Rikers Island cannot be reformed. Rikers Island cannot be fixed. You cannot throw money at Rikers Island. It has been done before. Right? Let's do something new. Let's change the system. Implement the borough-based plan. It's a plan that we fought for. We've done this. We put the footwork in on this, right? And every one of y'all raised your hand, and even the media raised your hand when you said that, and when I asked if you was a human being. So if you're a human being, you should care. Where's those emotions coming from y'all elected officials? Coming from the mayor. Dr. V says when Molina lies, people die. Why is that? That is sickening. That is disgusting that we have to stand up here every single week and say that. Mayor Adams, come here right now. Come talk with us. We're ready for this conversation. If you cared. But guess what? We know that you do not care. Let's decarcerate New York City. By what? Shutting down Rikers Island, shutting down the boat.
Close Rikers.
Let's close Rikers now. Peace and blessings. Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Shut it down!
Let me just remind everyone, the Jails Action Coalition formed in 2011, December 2011, and I know y'all get tired of me saying this, but I have to continue to say this, because we formed when no one was comfortable speaking out on their own. We formed when every CPO was concerned about their funding rather than actually bringing to light what was truly occurring. So I don't care who's going to get mad at me for saying this. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. We formed because people needed us. And I know y'all might think I'm crazy. I look a little different. I'm an African spiritualist, and that's what it is. But I also am a chaplain. I also am a former nurse. I also did cognitive behavioral therapy. And I also have done monitoring for those with a serious mental illness on Rikers Island. I gave you 4 positions that I've done over the last 2 decades behind the walls. So I know what I'm saying. When I speak, listen to me. When I speak for my community members. Hear us. We are tired of being abused in the street, hunted down by police, and thrown into barbaric situations and conditions where our elders and our leaders say, wait for your day in court, it will be all right. It is not all right. Because we died the night before our court date. Look it up last year. It is not all right. When over 80% of the women in Rosie's right now has a mental health concern. It is not all right. When we know women are still being sexually assaulted and abused, but at every DOC meeting, we only hear about the officer's plight. I'm not erasing that. That's their fight. But I'm here to speak about those who don't have a union representative. I'm here to speak about those who don't have access to their loved ones on visiting day. I'm here to speak about those who don't have access
that mountaintop that's been playing king. He's been leading us on, and we've got to go to that mountaintop, not for the purpose of living life like he lives, his lifestyle. That's not it. We got to go on that mountaintop to make that man understand that we are coming from the valley.
At this time, I want to ask someone in the audience, directly impacted. Do you have a few words? State your name.
My name is Camilla Jones. I was recently in the jail, and I almost lost my life because of the food. And like, how many more people have to die? And condolence to all the family members that lost their loved ones, because this is not right. The DOC commissioner stated over here that they're changing. What are they changing? They're not changing anything. So, you know, Rikers Island needs to be closed. It's nasty in there. The food is garbage. And people steadily die in the showers, mildew, and stuff. And the heat, it's hot in there. It's so hot that people get sick, and it's wrong. So I say today, close Rikers Island down now. And the mayor should be out here with all of us, because it's wrong. And thank you for letting me.
Thank you. And I just want y'all to all understand, it's not just about closing Rikers. We want Rikers closed, but I can't reiterate enough how important it is to understand that while we are fighting for Rikers to close, we have to continue fighting each and every day for everyone who is detained. Because until we shut down courthouses and parole offices, and anyone can be remanded at any given time, we are responsible for the conditions that they are placed in. Any one of us can be arrested at any moment, guilty or not. Any one of us can be arrested, and if you look closer to my skin, more than likely you will. And in some time in your life, come across the situation. Any one of us. And when I say conditions, yo, how many years as Jails Action Coalition have we fought about the water? And where's the water plan? And walking through the island, I know for a fact them brown cases that's supposed to be filled every tour with water are not. Those 2 fans that's supposed to be on every unit, most of them are broken. The access to feminine hygiene pads that they're supposed to have, unlimited, doesn't exist. We're not even going to talk about the access to medical. Mental health is supposed to come at least every 28 days. When's the last time they kept that minimum standard? We're not talking about lavish material gains. We're talking about basic human rights. We're not demanding that DOC do anything more than the minimum standard. Why are we out here again demanding and begging and pleading for minimum standards? The commissioner is a former vet. Did he not serve for our rights? I'm an Army brat. That was drilled into me. The mayor and the commissioner once served together on the police force. Do they not understand law and order? Supposed to. As an Army brat, it was drilled into me. And these are the leaders of our city. Where's the executive leadership? I don't see any. And yet I see more names being added to the list this year who have died, who are injured. We haven't even talked about the family members that I deal with on a nightly basis because they're too hurt to go to sleep. Their minds is too tortured to stay asleep. Their brains is too harmed to start a day again without their loved one. And then we have people who are fearful to come forward because they know speaking out comes with consequences. Nothing the federal monitor has put into writing, we have not put on the record beforehand without costing the city $20 million. Most of us do this for free. We're volunteers of our time. We make our jobs do the work that we know needs to be done, and we incorporate it if we can. Many times we take days off to show up. We flip schedules to be there for people we never even met because we're New Yorkers. Right. And I can't close this out without talking about programming. Adequate programming creates safety in the jail. I've been on the record many times stating that officers, safety captains in facilities state, when you going to get programming back? When you going to get programming back? Even throughout COVID, had to even hold advocates, CBOs accountable when they wasn't showing up. Where the hell are you? Our people are inside and you have access. And now DOC has stripped most of those who help our people return from their access to their program. And they fall short. On the record, they said individual therapy has turned into group therapy. How many of you who are in therapy, don't have to raise your hand, want to sit in a group and talk about it? How many of you are in conditions like Rikers? And I want you to really think about this. On your hottest day, with lotion or oil on your skin, have you ever begin to sweat down your leg? That's daily basis in Rikers. And 80 degrees here is almost 100 behind the wall. So 90 degrees here is 110, 115 in those facilities.
That's right.
Then let's talk about solitary confinement. When you're in units, they say there's no solitary, but that's a lie. You're in units with no access to a window, no access to ongoing air and any type of circulation because your door not opening. Go sit in your closet when you go home. And not any of you with lavish closets. Go sit in a real closet. And look around. And think, my God, how could I do a day, 5 hours, 5 weeks, 5 months? There's people that have been in solitary over 40 years. There's people that have been on Rikers 5, 7, 9 years. And when I started telling the media that years ago, they didn't believe me. How is it that in America, you are allowed to have a speedy trial? You are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty and placed in conditions that say we care nothing about you. We don't give a two hoots about your domestic rights. Even if you are a veteran, because we've had veterans up here before, even if you are a veteran, kudos to you, so what? You're still going to be in those same conditions. It doesn't matter if you fought for all of us. You have no value. This is what our electeds continue to tell our community members. And I want to be very clear. Locally, everybody's seat is up. Everybody is up for replacement. Use that for us. Hold your elected officials accountable in real time. And even the public advocate who sent the representative today, where is he? And I'm going to say that on the record. Why are we still waiting for 549 to be pushed, City Council? Because that's one of the main conditions that we are fighting for right now with our people behind the walls. Do you know the heat will cause someone to act out? The heat will cause someone's temperature to rise. The heat will give certain people on medications different symptoms, and officers are not medical staff. That means they are not aware of someone decompensating, and all they see is a behavioral problem. You see where I'm going with this? But our mayor knows what he said the other day, 53% of those on Rikers have a mental health concern. What is he doing about it? You heard that siren go by? Sirens leave Rikers every day. But you don't wear them. Sirens leave Rikers every day. But most of y'all aren't aware of it. And most of us don't know about it because they don't die. But as Mr. Carlton should have shown each and every one of you this year, you don't have to die to be completely traumatized by the conditions you were placed in. You don't have to die physically to die spiritually. You don't have to die physically to die mentally. You don't have to die physically to die financially, because when we are preyed upon and placed in conditions where we can't even take care of our home or families, we suffer. It's a domino effect. We're not just numbers. We are heartbeats. This is real life. Thank you, Professor. You always show up. And I want to thank you because you always show up and you always teach your students the truth. And this is how we make change. Does anybody else from the public want to speak before we close out?
What about these?
So we're going to close out saying the names from this year. Because I want you to, I know we said them, but I want to say them again. Because I want you to remember each and every loved one who is not here. And regardless, because a lot of you media have a thing of actually saying someone's name in your story and adding their charge. I don't give two damns about what somebody's charge is when we talking about how they died and the condition they were placed in. New York is not a state that has the death penalty. So don't tell me about somebody's charge and I'm telling you they lost their life. Don't tell me about somebody's charge and I'm telling you the conditions that they were placed in were barbaric. And I'm telling you, every clergy that has access to breakers, as a chaplain, as an ordained reverend, most of y'all don't know that. Step up. Get stuff done. You have a duty to your Lord, and you have a duty to the people that you serve. Amen. To speak the truth. Whether it's a political truth that you want to say or not. You have a duty first, as a member of the cloth, as a clergy member, to do what is right for those who count on us. That is one of the main reasons I became a certified chaplain for the state and the nation. I'm federal as well. Because I want to be where my people are. I want to be where your lawyer can't go. I want to be and see so that I know the truth and can hold them accountable on the outside. Step up, Darren. Amen.
So these are the names of the people who lost their lives this year in New York City jail system. So just repeat after me. Marvin Pines.
Marvin Pines.
Ruby Zhao.
Ruby Zhao.
Joshua Velez.
Joshua Velez.
Felix Taveras.
Felix Taveras.
Ricky Howell.
Ricky Howell.
William Johnstone.
William Johnstone.
And Curtis Davis.
And Curtis Davis.
May they rest in peace.
May they rest in peace. Before you leave, I want you to think about your elected. And if there's anything that you've learned today or need help in building off of, come talk to us. And once again, I'm Chaplain Dr. Victoria A. Phillips. Everyone calls me Dr. V. And unfortunately, we are out here yet another Tuesday speaking the truth about people. Yet another, the third consecutive Tuesday, because people have continued to die. And every BOC meeting since what, May, I think at least 2 people have died. Yeah. And they don't even acknowledge that in the BOC hearing. Do y'all know that? And media, find out for me. Has the death committee met at all this year in the Board of Corrections? Because we are yet